Well, we've just been joined by EFF President Mr. Julius Malema, breaking news, to try and talk to us about what unfolded in Parliament. Mr. Malema, thank you so much for joining us here on PM News.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, Mr. Malema, what are your comments or perceptions on the allegations that the EFF is steadfast on bringing disruptions to Parliament?
That's not true. We're bringing a new style of opposition, very radical, very robust, and holding the executive accountable. We don't like what we have seen in the past 21 years, where Parliament was used as a rubber stamp. So all we're doing is to get the executive to account to Parliament.
But many are saying that there are proper channels to follow that, and that you maybe should consider that. What do you say to that, sir?
There are no proper channels. In Parliament, it's rules that govern Parliament. So when you argue against me, you must be able to say, according to what rule, what you are doing, it's wrong. The Speaker couldn't say that to us, and no one could point at any rule which stopped us from asking a question of privilege.
Mr. Malema, secondly, just yesterday, there were reports that you were referred to as a cockroach, and as well as your party members. What is your comment on that? What do you view that as, especially coming out of the State of the Nation address?
The Speaker has just put a price tag on our head. She's calling for assassination, because we know what happened in Rwanda when people were called cockroaches. She's very senior, she's a very influential person, and she should be very careful at all times when using words, because immediately after calling us cockroaches and calling upon members of the ANC to deal with these cockroaches everywhere else they found them, ANC members attacked members of the EFF physically in Mohali City to a point where many of them had to be taken to hospital. So that was the most unacceptable language. How do you call your fellow members of Parliament cockroaches and expect to preside over them the following day?
What do you mean by she's calling for assassination, sir?
People were killed, were called cockroaches in Rwanda. There was a genocide committed on those who were called cockroaches. And she's using that word, which can be misinterpreted by her followers to be meaning we need to get rid of them. I mean, what do people do with cockroaches? People don't decorate their houses with cockroaches. They kill cockroaches. And once you say I'm a cockroach, you effectively mean I must be killed.
Mr. Malema, let's go back to what happened in Parliament. A lot of people are saying that it was unfair for the EFF to disrupt because it was infringing the voters' rights, the very people that put you in Parliament, for them to hear what the President had to say, because they know that there will be a debate on the State of the Nation address. What do you say to that?
There's a difference between disruption and interruption. We interrupted the President, we didn't disrupt the President, and Parliament, like it did when it jammed the cell phones before the State of the Nation, then disrupted itself through the Speaker. We stood up orderly, addressed the Speaker. There was no protest, there was no chanting, there was no singing, there was orderly manner of raising things with the Speaker. So people must learn to differentiate between interruption and disruption.
And there were allegations that you were injured in the process of getting removed from Parliament. Please tell us more about that.
No, we were assaulted. I was beaten by those police officers, like all members of the EFF, including those who were never ordered, by the way, to leave the house. They were assaulted, and we had our Renelo Mashabela, member of Parliament, taken to hospital. She stayed there for almost 2 days because they decided to beat her to a point where she had to be hospitalized. Yeah, so it was serious, because I saw 7 men holding this female, and one of them beating her up on the face with a shoe. And the ANC says there is nothing wrong with assaulting of women in South Africa. We cannot resolve political differences through violence. That is unacceptable.
So what's the EFF planning to do about that?
We're suing Parliament, we're suing Minister of Police, we're suing the Speaker, because we had all the right to be there. It was within our right to be there. We're elected, no one was doing us a favor, and police removed us forcefully in a place where we had all the right to be at.
Mr. Malema, before I let you go, please clear this up for us. Do you think that the divisions within the EFF are growing and these could lead to maybe the party disbanding? Tell us a bit about that.
There's no division in the EFF. There is individuals like Andile Mqitama who attack the organization. If that is a real division, ask Mr. Mqitama to call a meeting in a city hall in Johannesburg and call members of the EFF, and let's see if there will be 10 of them to go and listen to him. He is just pursuing an ego struggle, a personal struggle, and he doesn't want to confine himself into the rules of the organization. So you cannot say an individual attack on the organization is a division. We've seen some other guys being interviewed here, the SABC, calling themselves EFF, but none of our branches can actually account for such characters.
But Mr. Malema, does this still mean that he's part of the party? I heard there was going to be a disciplinary hearing that he was supposed to go through.
Yes, he's part of the party. I think the party will announce the disciplinary actions to be taken against him very soon.
Mr. Malema, thank you so much for your time here on PM News. Well, that was the EFF leader, Mr. Julius Malema. For more on this, you can watch Question Time at 5:30 with Mbete. PM News returns shortly after this.